Is that just accessible via the Discord server?
Say again?
Do we access that via the Discord server? Is there just a link?
Have you gone to, are you at Bellevue College right now? Not like physically, but like attending classes?
Yeah, I'm attending classes.
In some of the classes, you will get access to this. This is one of those, this is not hosted by Bellevue College. Don't remember what specific university hosts this, but it's a cyber range that Bellevue College has been given access to. And so you can be provisioned an account that's tied to your Bellevue College email. And then you can log in here and you can go ahead and like spin up virtual machines, which will make things a lot easier for people, because I think this is kind of it's a little difficult to get up with a virtual machine. I can go through setting up one in like VirtualBox or something like that if you haven't done that before. But this makes it really easy because it's just a web page that you can go and pick what you want. If you want like Windows 10 or something like that, you just click View and Deploy, and it spins everything up for you and gives you a UI. But if you don't have access to this, you can reach out to, there's Evan Drake. He is the director of the cybersecurity program. And then there's Rod Pascal. He is also part of the cybersecurity program. You can ask either those people, and I know Ann Andanjetti, which is one of my teachers I had last quarter, could help you out too. And if you're going to be taking like the Linux course, for example, you'll get access to this. That's just part of that course.
Okay.
So if you're pursuing the IT path, the associate's degree, or the cybersecurity BAS, you'll eventually get access to this once you take those classes, or if you just go ahead and reach out. But yeah, I'm going to go through kind of setting up Tailscale and kind of how that works for people so that people can get familiarized with this software. It's really easy to set up. It is not terribly difficult to get going. And essentially what it is just a VPN software that simplifies it significantly more than I think a lot of other VPN softwares. It can be a little kind of confusing to set up. If you've ever used like Hamachi or something like that, if that sounds familiar, it works very similarly. So the way that it works is you'll download the VPN software on any machine that you want to connect to each other. And so I already have it installed, but you can go to the tailscale.com and just go to their download page, and you can get Windows, and they have all different versions. You can even get it on your phone. And so there's you either make an account or you can log in using like SSO. I recommend using your personal email and not the school email for this, because it's nice to have that not tied. But for this example, I've set it up with my school email because I already have an account set up with my personal. And so what I would do is I would install it on my devices, and I already have it installed. And so wish I could bring this over. I'm not going to do that. All right. I'm just going to log in real quick to this on my computer, and then I should show up in this list here. Log in. And connect. Sweet. And there I am. And then there's another device that was added here. It's not online. So when you, this kind of skipped a step because I don't know where this machine came from, but you'll eventually get to this admin panel. You can kind of skip to going here if you type in this URL. So I'll put it in chat. But this kind of shows you it makes like a private network that all of the machines can see each other. And so this is really, really, really nice if you want to get direct access to the machines on CyberRange, because there's not a way to VPN directly to them. The only way that you're able to access these is via a web UI. I believe this one is set to default. And I'm not logged in. And I will go through, I hope, I probably could have done better at explaining that people might want this to get set up for the cyber range. I will put the details in the chat at the end of the meeting onto like who to reach out to get set up with this. But basically, you can provision and it lets you get to this kind of virtual desktop, and it's all in your browser. This is fine for most people, but there's some limitations with this. You can't like copy paste, for example, or you can, but it's a little cumbersome. You have to put it in here, and then you gotta, it's not the best. Having direct access is nice because you can do things like SSH and RDP, which gives you the remote desktop and the terminal without having to you do it through your browser. And so we'll just kind of go through getting Tailscale attached to this. I believe Tailscale is already running on this. Oops. Yes, it is. Okay. I'm going to spin up a new machine so we can start fresh. Let's just do Ubuntu. And so for people who haven't used this environment, the way that it works is there's a couple different ways you can spin up stuff. You can spin up a workspace or a machine. They're basically the same thing. Some of them have other stuff set up with them to kind of get you going. So like there's some labs here. There's one lab, maybe this Ubuntu one, where it has a file directory set up to go let you explore, just part of that IT Linux class. But I'm going to go ahead and deploy it. And so wait for this machine to show up. But if you go over to the cloud console, I should be able to see it once it gets going. But the reason I'm going through with all this is because I'm trying to get people set up to go and attack machines on this website, which if you haven't used is very fun to go through. And it is, get it in here. It is a website full of walkthroughs and vulnerable machines. It is a great learning resource if you're getting into cybersecurity. I highly recommend checking out, making an account for yourself. There's a lot of free stuff on here. You do not have to pay for a lot of it. So there is a decent amount of time. They have a full roadmap here going through stuff, a bunch of rooms, and you go through and they kind of teach you stuff. You can start with Linux, go in a little bit of Python coding and stuff like that. It gives you, it starts from the ground up and it works very well. I recommend checking these out if you want to brush up on specific stuff that you may not know a lot about. This really gets you going, and we'll cover a lot. It can be a lot to go through, but it's worth going through the basics and kind of getting familiar with this stuff if you don't know how it works. And it kind of gets into more, if you want to go pen testing or blue teaming, stuff like that. There's lots of different paths here, and these all kind of guide you through. They also just have straight up rooms you can go and attack. Ooh, that's not quite the one. The challenges. And these are much less handholdy. They're very much like just drop you in, and you got to figure out how to go and attack it. They're just vulnerable machines, and they're like, what's the flag? Go get them. And you got to kind of figure it out yourself. And so I'm going to kind of plan for these challenges. We're going to go through these, obviously starting out with some simpler ones, getting familiarized with how that kind of works, and then moving on to some harder ones. But the idea was setting up this this Tailscale, and eventually we're going to set up something called Wireguard, which looks like this. It's another VPN software, and going to make it so you don't have to make an account if you don't want to, and we can all just kind of follow along in the same account. and all you need to do is just have a virtual machine set up. Again, you don't have to use the cyber range. If you want to use your own computer, you can use VirtualBox, you can use WSL. All of these are totally good alternatives if you want to, if you're using Windows, if you don't already have Linux, then these are good alternatives to go. VirtualBox is free. I can go through setting up this if people are interested in me doing that. But yeah, pretty much that was a lot of information. I hope some of it got through to y'all. Hopefully, close out of this, see if the Ubuntu machine is spun up to look like, I think this is it right here. Go ahead and get going. And so all the machines kind of have, okay, I gotta go figure out which one it was. 225. Maybe not. Let's see. Oops. Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. This is a fresh machine with Ubuntu installed, and we can go ahead and get it attached to this Tailscale net. And so once you're at this this admin panel, which I put in chat, you can go ahead over here on the right and click add a new device. And this will kind of give you some options. You can either just log in with like Mac OS, Windows, or whatever if you want to set up that. But you can also just set up a server. And this is makes it very simple for you. You can, there's a lot of control you can do. You can make it temporary so it doesn't stay here for very long. You can do something called an exit node, which I can go into all this stuff. Tailscale is very versatile. It's really easy to get going with a lot of stuff. And it is, there's a lot here. And so basically what you do is you go ahead and go to the add Linux server. You don't need to change any of these settings unless you want to look at them and change them up for yourself. But you can just press this generate script here at the bottom, and this will give you a script with the authorization key, and you can go ahead and copy that. And we're gonna paste it in here, which is gonna be kind of difficult because you can't really copy paste, but if you hold Control Alt and Shift while you're in Guacamole, which is what this remote console is, it's called Guacamole. And that'll kind of give you access to the clipboard, and you can kind of paste it in there. And then from there, you can paste as if it was right there in the virtual machine. And so then we can go ahead and run this command. And so what this is going to do is it's going to not have curl installed. So we're going to fix that real quick. And then if you don't know the password for the machine of the cyber range, found. Oh, I love technology issues. What's going on here? Let's see if we can just do snap. That works. If you don't know what the password for the virtual machine is, if you go over to the Cloud Console, you can click for server info, and then it'll kind of show you the system user and their password here if you click the little eye icon there. Cool, I've got that installed, and now this will work. Sweet, and so that's going to get Tailscale installed, and it should automatically start it as long as your machine has internet access, which it should, and this can all make it a little easier for people. All right. So getting it going. I think I might go over this again in the next meeting, just because I'm expecting more people to show up after classes actually start. So I will kind of cover ground again, but this will kind of be a good thing to go through. All right, so then it's all installed and we can just go ahead and spin it up and we can check our status here. And we can see that we're added to the network. And if we go over to, oops, close out of that window, machines, and can see that we're here. And so a really cool thing with Tailscale is that it runs, this is a lot of technical terminology, but it runs the DNS server locally on your computer. So you don't have to refer to the machines that you're connected to with their IPs. So I could, go and ping this, and I can go ping this machine right here that we're looking at. But I can also just do ping, Ubuntu 20, and that also works as well. And that resolves to the IP, which makes it a lot easier. And that is controllable by you. You can just go here and change the name. So it auto generates it, but you can change it to whatever you want. And this is a very, very, very nice feature. And it makes it a lot easier because, if I want to SSH, well, I do the student user, just type Ubuntu. And it's going to ask, do I want to save these yet? And then I'm going to go ahead and type the password in. And now I'm at the shell. I can verify that it works for y'all. If I go to the desktop, make a folder and say, and boom, we're connected. And so this is not 100% necessary. You can do a lot of things with Guacamole, and I'm not dogging on it, and it works fine. It can be a little cumbersome for people, but I do think getting direct access like this makes stuff that we're going to go through a lot easier. Because there's in cybersecurity and in IT, you're doing a lot of copy pasting, and when you have to do this every single time you want to copy paste, it can be a little bit much. And again, you don't have to use the cyber range. You're welcome to use a VirtualBox or a VM or WSL. All of those are viable alternatives. I can explore those in future classes if people want to go down that route. But I do think the cyber range is the easiest because it does have a Kali-Linux installation. You just press a button and it'll spin up Kali-Linux for you, and you'll have all the attack tools right there. And it just makes it a lot easier. And so from here, let me see. Yeah, we got it. I can go through the next part. So I have a WireGuard server running, which people can connect to go ahead and attack these TryHackMe machines. To make it a lot easier, you're just going to connect to the WireGuard machine, and you'll get full access to whatever machine we're going to be attacking that day to make it a lot easier for y'all. And so I'm going to kind of go through how you set up WireGuard. Is not a terribly complex setup process, but for those, basically the first thing you do is you go ahead and you install WireGuard. We're using the package manager apt, and Kali-Linux and Ubuntu are both based on Debian, and so they have the same package manager, and this command is going to work across those machines. So you can just go ahead and run this sudo apt install WireGuard, and you got to provide your password, and it'll start installing. And WireGuard is like another VPN. Actually, Tailscale uses WireGuard to make these connections possible. It's just a more complex version that does a lot of the work for you, so you don't have to think about the kind of underlying technology. But the way that we're going to have WireGuard work is I'm going to provide you a file. Let's go ahead and get downloaded. Is it going to work? Uh-oh. Oh no. My server is giving me grief. Oh, I know why it's not working. My bad. I'm on the different Tailscale network. Let me fix this. Download one of these real quick. Perfect. There we are. And then we'll get back on that other Tailscale network to get the configuration finished. Leave it's running, so I think we're good. All right. Sorry, we're getting back to this, and I think. Yeah, we're back. Cool. And then I can go ahead and just do this. It wants to work. Giving me grief. All right, we'll just use the guacamole for the rest of this right here. And so we've got Wireguard installed. And there's this command called Wireguard easy. It's not installed. Did I get Wireguard installed? Try that again. Nope, it's Wireguard quick. Oops. There we go. Cool. And so I'm going to give you this configuration file, which I pulled up here. It's this .conf file. You don't have to like figure out how to get this like moved over there. It's just a text file. It has a bunch of information in here. And if it opens up my text editor, pull this over and y'all can see. It has some information. And this is, public and private key encryption. Kind of tells you, don't put that on there. Let's just go ahead and copy this real quick and put this over. It's not too worried about the technical details here, other than just getting things going. And so what we're going to do is we're going to navigate to the desktop, and we're going to make that WireGuard folder so we know where everything is. Go ahead and go into WireGuard, and let's go ahead and make that conf file. And we're just going to paste. Save. I went kind of quickly through that, but to use the text editor in a terminal, a really easy one to use is Nano. And you basically just define a text file, and you can type some stuff. It works pretty similarly to Notepad. And then you can do Control S and Control X to exit, or just Control X, and then it'll say, do you want to save? And you just say, yep. And then it saves it as a text file for you. And so I did basically the same thing, but with the conf file right here. And so once that conf file is there and you're in the same directory, you can go ahead and just do WireGuard quick. And then you do, I believe it's up. Ooh, I should have had this open. Pretty sure you just define, I'm pretty sure it's up, and then this student1.conf. And then it's going to ask you to run it as root. So you're going to want to go ahead and do sudo there, and then provide your password. And don't have resolve.conf installed. Fix that. That is something I got to fix on my end, but an easy fix. This is just some software that lets DNS work. More technical stuff, but basically you'll go ahead and spin up the WireGuard, and you'll know that it works if you go ahead and do this. Kind of lets you see your IP interfaces, or like what you're connecting to the internet with, so your network cards. And so you can kind of see some important information here. Let me full screen this. You've got your loopback device. You've got what is providing your internet connection right here. This is the ENS3. This is our internet connection. We have our Tailscale that we created here, and then we also have the WireGuard connection, which is going to be labeled the conf file, or whatever you call it. So in this case, it's student 1, and so we're, I believe, connected. I think so. I don't know. I have to check. But I can do ping, so you can see kind of what network we're on right here. We got the 10.200.200.2. That's our IP. So we should be able to ping our WireGuard server. Yeah. And so the whole reason we're going through this is I'm going to just go ahead and give a little simple example of do we have it open? Right here. Oops. Right here. This TryHackMe. And so the way that it works is that there's like different rooms that you join. And let's just go to this one right here. And you go ahead and you kind of join the room first. It makes you do that so you can get access to these little fields, and it adds you to this leaderboard here. And then you click Start Machine, and when it goes ahead and spins up the machine for you on TryHackMe servers, and then in a minute it'll give you an IP address. And so I'm going to go on my end, and that's fine. We'll just switch back over and get the stuff connected. Y'all can see. This is some cool software that I've been using recently, but it's lets you manage all those SSH connections and stuff, so makes it really easy. I can go through using this, but again, maybe a little further down the line. I'm kind of focusing on the basics here, just getting everything all set up for y'all. 253. It should be a little further down the hall. I know that there's some rooms going to be like on the right. I know that's kind of more offices though.
Okay.
I don't know where 253 is specifically though.
Okay,
but
so
this is 219. Yeah, it should start going up.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one. Cool. All right. So connect in. And I'm going to go ahead and initiate the connection to the TryHackMe servers. Oops, that is the wrong folder. And open VPN. And it didn't work because I didn't do root. Hopefully, I don't know. I haven't heard from y'all. Are you all still here, or am I talking to myself?
Still here.
Awesome. Has everything I've gone through kind of made sense? Is that?
Yes, I'm just wondering where I can find most of the links for a lot of a lot of the tools you're using. Sorry.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I can shoot the links to this software that I'm using here. I can shoot links to this right here, the little cyber range that we have. Again, if I'll put more details in Discord here, because it seems like I could have done a much better job at communicating this platform for y'all. Oh, that is not a link. I don't know why I did that. I will
no
put
worries.
the links.
You've been going through a lot on this. I'm just impressed at the amount of information that we've been getting at the moment.
Ooh. Oh, thank you. All right, so I'm just going to finish up real quick and show y'all the whole setup we got, and then I'm probably going to end up going through it again. I know this is going to be recorded and people can go through and watch this, but just with people in person here, because I know this room will be full of people, or like some people will be here this next week. I'll just go through and we'll kind of get everybody on the same page, and hopefully it'll also give you a little buffer time to go reach out to either Evan or Rod or Anand and go ahead and ask to get provisioned an account. Because I would recommend using the cyber range. It does make things a lot easier. And if that becomes an issue, I can just go ahead and show you how to send it to VirtualBox. But yeah, basically I went ahead and connected to TryHackMe servers. And so from this machine here, I should be able to go ahead and ping. Don't share this on. We're just trying to click this tab right here. There we go. Okay. There's the IP for the machine here, and I can go ahead and ping it from my machine here. And yeah, I can see the vulnerable machine. And so in theory, I go to the guacamole. I should be able to do the exact same thing. And y'all will be able to see the vulnerable machine. So that was a lot of setup, a lot of information, all just to get one machine connected to TryHackMe servers through my computer. And from here, getting all that set up, we can start going through these together. And so there's actually a website running on this one. I think it is the name of this. I can go find it real quick because it'll give me an error if I go ahead and spin it from here. The IP. Yes. So the way that this one works is you're going to go ahead and put it in your hosts. This is getting in my way. Yeah, I love the little Teams thing here. All right, copy. Here we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my hosts file. Let's see, hosts, and put it in here. And grab that IP again. I'm not going to go terribly in depth into what I'm doing here. When we go through and attack this box, I'll go ahead and explain what this is doing. That's not going to work. Copy this real quick before I close out. No, got to do sudo. You always got to do sudo. Yep, should be saved. And then now I can go visit that website. Should be, I think it was look. My goodness, it's a little slow. THM, I think lookup.thm. Crazy. Yeah. Ooh, gotta specify this. And it should give me the website. Hey, there we are. Now we're at the vulnerable machine. And then from here, there's some stuff that you do to go ahead and get the login and get access to whatever service is running behind here. And you can go ahead and test out to see if I can find what the admin password is. Looks like it wasn't password. That sucks. And yeah, that more or less kind of wraps up this this meeting. I will be going through this again. If you, I don't know, do we have a little bit of time? We have a little bit of time. I can go over setting up a machine in WSL or setting up a machine in VirtualBox, because that'll be something you can do right now, and you could be able to follow along with that if you're interested. If y'all don't want me to do that, I won't do that. I can go ahead and end it now and call it wraps, or we can kind of go through that and help you get set up with some Linux environment, because with pen testing, with doing anything in cybersecurity, anything in IT, really, it's much easier to do things from a Linux machine than it is from a Windows machine. Windows is fine. It does great. I'm using Windows right now. But it's much easier to connect to a Linux machine and then do all your stuff from there, especially Kali-Linux. It already has all the pen testing tools there. You don't have to download them, install them. It's just, they're right there. And so, but yeah, do you want me to go through that and do that? Is there any like preference? Do you want me to just kind of end it? Is this enough information for y'all?
I came a little bit later in the meeting, but hi everyone. I wanted to ask how to get connected to the cyber range, because
I got you.
I reached out to Rod, and he mentioned that I can only access it if I'm part of a networking class, but I haven't finished those classes already.
I gotcha. I will talk with Rod and Evan. I'll see them probably later this week, and I will try to get that sorted out for y'all and get that cleared up. I know for sure if you're going to take the Linux class, you will get access, and that's just part of it. And then they kind of just let you have that for the rest of, I think, the time that you're going to be doing the bachelor's or the associate's degree if you're pursuing those two. But I would recommend, I can go through the VirtualBox. I can go through WSL. Those are pretty easy to set up if you have Windows already or whatever operating system you have. If you're curious, because that'll let you get access to this environment, like a Kali-Linux or Ubuntu environment, and it can make it, it gives you the same thing essentially, and you can do more or less the same thing. You don't need to do the Tailscale part because you're not connecting to another machine on a different network, but you can still do the WireGuard and everything. So is that something you're interested in me going through, or would you rather I just kind of wrap up?
I personally already have the Kali-Linux virtual machine running.
Oh,
But
wonderful.
the only issue I have is it runs a lot of my CPU, so my computer runs a little bit slower, a lot slower actually when I run it. So having the cyber range like to access it over the cloud or the internet would be better for me to be able to test out all the challenges that you have to do.
I 100% agree. Every machine that I run, that I'm running here, the one that I'm accessing is it's not being hosted locally. It's all, I'm connecting to it, you know, through Tailscale or, you know, it's not here. And so having that dedicated machine is way helpful. It natively installed or virtualized software on another machine is really great to use. It's fast, it's responsive. When you have Windows running and you also have your virtual machine, it's usable is a good way to put it. It's not the best experience in the world.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. But if you have Kali open, you can use it. There's I don't know if you've investigated using WSL. That can, in my experience, run a little better because there's a little less overhead. For example, if you're running a virtual machine, like if you were to go to, do I have Oracle Box installed or VirtualBox? I don't think I do. If you were to have VirtualBox installed, ooh, come on, let up again. The reason why it takes a lot of power away from your machine is because it is running a whole entire operating system on top of Windows, which is very resource intensive because you have, you know, the whole Linux kernel there, you have a desktop environment, all this stuff that it just expects it has access to your hardware of your laptop or your computer or whatever you're using. And so when you also have that and Windows, yeah, it can just be a lot. And so VirtualBox works great if you have a pretty powerful machine to kind of handle that. But if you don't, I recommend investigating WSL. And so Windows, it's right here, but they do have WSL for Kali-Linux, so you can get Kali-Linux installed. They make it really easy. You can just run this in PowerShell. If you were to like right-click terminal, and it opens up PowerShell. Or you can type PowerShell from CMD if that's what it opens up for you. Or you can do, it's not going to work that way. Okay, PowerShell, and open that up. And then from there, you can just run this command WSL install. That'll install Ubuntu by default. I think you can pick the distro here. Yeah, so it's install-d distribution name. You can do LO. Yes, let's try that. I'll get WSL set up for y'all since I have some time to kill and I'm not going anywhere. Let's see, L and O. Cool. There's Kali-Linux right here. So the difference between using WSL versus VirtualBox is it doesn't emulate a whole operating system. It only emulates like part of an operating system, and it can run a lot better. There's no desktop environment. You only get command line, but it works pretty okay in my experience. It's close enough to a real Linux experience. There can be some hiccups for sure. It's not like perfect. You can run into issues that you won't really run into if you're doing VirtualBox or if you're using the cyber range. But it is a good alternative or stopgap until you kind of get access to the cyber range. Because ultimately, I think this going forward with this will be great. And we do have infrastructure for the club that we're working on. I don't have the ability to give access to people yet. We're still kind of we're developing it out right now. We're getting pretty far. I expect by fall of this year that we'll have something working for people to use, which you won't have to use the cyber range, and you won't have to worry about VPNs or anything like that. You just connect to the machine and you get to the desktop and you can go crazy with it. And you'll see the vulnerable machines right there. So I'm going to try to kind of make that process really easy. But for this quarter, we're going to have to go kind of do this weird handshake process where we go through a bunch of different technologies just to get access. But yeah, that's kind of it. I can go through with installing WSL if you want me to do that, but you do essentially just run the WSL install command, and then I believe you kind of just, I think you type WSL, or there's something you do. I can pull that all up for y'all if you're interested. But basically, you type it in your PowerShell, and then it switches you over to that shell. Or you can even do it from here. I think I actually might, have it installed on this. So yeah, from the terminal app, if you don't have it, you can get it on Windows 10 or 11 from the Microsoft Store, which I don't have installed. I do. And you can just do, sure. And you go ahead and get the terminal app. If you don't have that, it can make it life a lot easier than using just regular PowerShell. But from there, you can actually just kind of click the button. And so you'll see Kali-Linux show up here if you do WSL install. And then I think there's something you can run from the terminal. But this is essentially a full Linux environment right here. All the commands you would expect to work. You have the apt installer if you want to use that, package manager. Kali-Linux has a good suite of tools to use, at least to get started and going forward with this stuff. And so, yeah. Hopefully this, I'm going to leave some of these open actually because I'm going to send this all to y'all. I'm going to go through and send links. I'll kind of give a wrap up of the meeting for folks. If there's any questions that people had about the stuff, then I can kind of go through. If not, I think I'm just going to wrap up for the day. Cool. Well, thanks for showing up. We'll be meeting again next Monday. And unless, I don't think there's any holidays on the Mondays for this quarter. So if you can show up in person, that'd be awesome. It's a good way to kind of meet people and get familiar with the community here for cybersecurity. Again, it's the T building. I'll try to be here as much as possible. And you're always welcome over Teams, and I'll have this recording going. So for folks who need that, hopefully we get some good engagement this year or this quarter. So thanks for showing up, y'all. All right. Hope you all have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.